Yo, what's up, guys? So, in today's video, I want to talk about a certain topic of dwelling and ruminating on past decisions, past mistakes. And I struggled with this a lot, and I'm trying to improve it. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but as you guys follow me and as you guys watch my channel, I'm growing just with you. I'm growing, you're growing, everyone's growing on my channel. And this is one of the things that I've been working on for a few months, even a few years, because there's been a lot of things where I've been through my life. If I made a mistake or if I had a setback or something like that, I start dwelling on it and we start thinking about it over and over and over again, and that is not good. So I wanted to make a video on it. Now, first off, when you make a decision and it becomes a mistake or you regret it, what we usually do is we do rumination. Now, rumination is just what I talked about. When you think of a mistake you made and you think about it over and over and over and over again, it's like a broken record. It keeps playing and playing and playing. And we get stuck there. That is not good. We do not want that to happen. But listen, it happens to all of us. I understand if you're going through something difficult right now, even if it happened last week or a month ago, and you think about it over and over and over again. I understand it. I've been there, and it sucks. But I want you guys to break out of that so you can focus on the next move. You focusing on that bullshit that happened last week or a month ago is not helping you focus on the decision you have to make today or tomorrow or next week. It is irrelevant. It is over. You cannot change the past. Once you made that decision, it is over with. Now, you could always reflect, but then you got to move forward. So before I get into the certain bullet points and how we can move forward, I'm going to share a quick little story with you. So, obviously, I'm going to make another video on it on my channel, but I had a video on my channel that I posted about my near-death experience, and it was in 2020. And basically, I almost had a very, very close call on my motorcycle, and I could have like clipped the car like 85. It would have been it. Like, I really doubt I would either be alive or at least not paralyzed. But it put me in this state of like, I was in an impulsive state. My confidence was very high. My impulsive behaviors, like when you go through a near death experience, basically you get in this state of like, you want to live every day like it's your last day. So any little thing that popped up into my head, I was like, I'm going to do it. And don't get me wrong, for a year straight, I did have fun, but obviously I made a few mistakes. And what snapped me out of this state was I made a very, very dumb mistake. A year in, so this happened in 2020. In 2021, I kind of got in this state of like manifesting things and just forcing things to happen and being impulsive, which isn't good. You should live every day like it's your last, but at the same time, you got to be responsible. You got to think about stuff before you do it, especially if it's a big decision. But one of the last mistakes I made before I snapped out of this state, I was very happy and energetic for like a year straight. And then I made this mistake and I was in months and months of depression and rumination. And what the mistake was is I wanted to get my dream car. It was an M3 E46. And my stupid ass went on the Facebook marketplace. I'm scrolling. One of the first few ones I saw, I was like, oh my God, I need it. I'm buying it. I need it. Now, a lot of people told me not to do it, and I didn't care. I was like, I'm doing this. I literally traded my bike and must have gave this guy like 15,000. My bike value is probably at least 5 grand. So I probably spent with the bike and the money like 20 grand. I bought this shit on site, no mechanic, no nothing. I saw it, I was like, I want it, I'm buying it. Boom, here's my bike, here's the money. And long story short, it ended up being a piece of shit. It had a bunch of miles on it. It was beat the fuck out of. Like, it was terrible. The subframe was cracked or whatever. But like, for those who don't watch and like, I mean, for those who are watching and is not like a big into cars and shit like that, I basically bought a piece of shit, very impulsive, and I didn't care. And then I was like, fuck, I fucked up. And luckily, well, not luckily, I'll keep breaking it down. I got in such a bad state from this. I kept every single day, I kept replaying it over and over again. I missed my bike. I wish I didn't trade it. I spent a lot of money on this shit. And I kept thinking it over and over and over and over again for months. I had this car for a few months, and then luckily, I finally snapped out of it because I wasn't focused on what the fuck happened. It was over with. There was no coming back. Like, I wasn't going to go to court with this shit and whatever. Like, I was like, what are the best decisions I can make moving forward? And basically, I was like, I came to the conclusion that I'm like, listen, I made this decision. I have to be a big boy and take the fucking loss. So I ended up selling the car for a way less than I bought it because I knew it was fucked up. I knew there's problems with it. So I basically gave it to someone that knew there was a lot of problems with it. And it was basically like a project car. Sold it for like maybe almost 10,000. So I lost 10,000 fucking dollars within like a few months. And it ate me alive inside. Like for months I was depressed, and it like I said, it was like a broken record over and over and over again. I was like, I wish this didn't happen. I wish I did it a different way. I wish it doesn't help shit. I reflected. I was like, I fucked up. What's the decision I can make now? I could either bitch about it and cry about it and keep playing it over and over until I die, or I could be like, listen, let me take the loss, get this shit out of my hands, and move forward. And that's what you have to do sometimes. There's going to be decisions you make in your life that's going to suck. You're going to have to take the loss like I did, and you're going to have to pick the best move on the board and move forward. But when you make a bad decision, the whole purpose of it, it's supposed to be a lesson. I'm not saying to not reflect. What happens, how I go about decision making now, if I make a mistake, I look back on it, I reflect, and I see what I could do differently, because that's the whole point of it. If you look in the past, the only thing you should be doing is reflecting, learning the lesson, and then cut it off, throw it in the garbage. That's it. You learn the lesson, you move forward. I don't even think about it now. This was a few years ago. I know the lesson. Now, me moving forward, like the car I have now, the cars I'm going to buy in the future, I got that slap on the wrist now. Now I'm programmed. If I ever buy a car, I want the best condition one. I want it checked over. I want it perfect. I don't want any fucking problems. And the reason I'm like that is because I reflected on that decision. But now I'm using that reflection to either make in my present moment decisions. Like, say if I went out and bought a car today, I would obviously want a low mileage, perfect condition car because of that mistake I did. And I could use that in next decisions. Like, say if I'm going to buy a car in a year or 2 years, ever since I made that decision, it made me realize like the car game could be sketchy. There's things you got to watch out for. And this is just like an example. You could use this for many different things where you go through something difficult or you knew you fucked up, but you learn from it, you reflect, and then you drop it off. You throw it out like you're moving forward. Like there's no real benefit to thinking about it over and over and over again. That's why I said the next move is the best move. Because once you made that move in the past, there's no going back. There's literally virtually no going back. The only reason you're going back is to reflect. You use that information to make decisions in the present moment or the future. And you have to realize, I'm going to do a little breakdown right now. The reasons we look in the past is to reflect. And then the reason we look in the future is to like get an idea. You want to envision the path you're going on. But both of these places, the future and the past, you do not want to stay there. It's just to visit. It's just to see like, all right, I did this wrong. I learned the lesson. Or in the future, you're like, I would like to do this. I want to have this career and I want to live in this area. You have an idea, but then you take that information from the future and past and you bring it. And the main thing you're going to use it for is the present moment. Like these things, when you go into the future and past, you're just visiting for like reference points or just a little insight. But the only real time we have is in the present moment. It matters to the decisions you're making today. So you don't want to get too stuck in the past and future. And then you basically just letting your present moment pass between your hands. And that's like the only thing we really have. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you're going through something where you made a bad decision last week, or you made a bad decision last month, and you're ruminating it over and over and over again, I want to let you know that that isn't doing anything. If you need to, get a journal, write down what you learned, why you think you fucked up, whatever. Get it and throw it out. You understand what you did, and now it's in the past, and you got to pick the best move on the board. That's today. You got to make the best decision. So that's what I mean by the next move is the best move. The decisions we make in the past, it doesn't define us. You could fuck up and do something really bad and then move forward. I'm going to give you an example. Like I dabbled into sales. I'm not really a big sales professional. I'm not going to say that. But one interesting thing I learned in a sales training, someone said to me, say if you had a really bad sales call, you got completely rejected, you were not even close to the fucking sale, you got embarrassed, it got in your mood, you do not bring that into the next sales call. Because think about it, that shitty call you had, you dial the next person, they have no idea what the fuck call you had the last call. Unless you bring that bullshit or that negative energy you had in the last call into the next call. But if you let it go, you have that feeling of letting it go and being like, fuck it. I had a shitty call. This next call is going to be the one. That person's not going to know that you fucked up the last call. That person can, let alone that, you might be brand new to sales and you get on that phone call and you stay calm and you follow the script or whatever. They have no idea if you're day one, a rookie, or if you've been doing sales forever. They don't have an idea if you just fucked up the last 5 calls or like you've been crushing sales all fucking day. That sales call analogy applies to what I'm doing on YouTube right now. My last few videos didn't get that many views and I don't give a fuck. I just keep being like, listen, I'm putting this out, I'm going to the next one. I'm putting this out, I'm going to the next one. If I fuck up, it is what it is. I'm going to the next video. It's the same attitude you have to have with these choices. If you make some bullshit move, be like, fuck that, it's going in the garbage. I'm making this next decision. That should motivate you to get momentum and be like, listen, this last mistake is not going to define me. And I'm going to let it go and go into the next one. Like my first few videos sucked. The last few videos didn't get that much views. I'm putting this next one out. And you know what I'm going to do after this one? I'm going to be like, fuck it, that one didn't get that many views. On to the next one until I keep going up and up and up and I'm like leveling up my skills and stuff like that. If you made a bunch of mistakes, say the last few decisions you made, you fucked up, fuck that shit, it's in the garbage, we're on to the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you stayed to the end. And I'm going to continue to put out these videos, just like the decisions you're making. This video is done with now. On to the next one.